So the next level in the game is Night Carnival, which is weird because it's basically, is it called that as a homage to Carnival Night Zone? Well, nobody liked Carnival Night Zone. Remember it had annoying water areas without any bubbles in it, and unintuitive gimmicks like the Barrel of Doom? Why? Like, what, people want it to be referenced just because it's from Sonic 3 and Knuckles? Like, this game tries in so many ways to be a spiritual successor of Sonic 3 and Knuckles and fails. One of the problems I have with this level is that there's not nearly enough ramps or springs. So, when I first played this level, I spent the vast majority of it not having any boosts at all. Of course, you can also get boosts by killing enemies, so at least there's a lot of enemies everywhere. There's plenty of gimmicks introduced in this level that I died a lot to when I first played the game, because some of them are pretty unintuitive. Yeah, you can also do tricks after being launched from those red boost rings, or the rainbow rings, which I guess give you more boost energy than the other ones. But yeah, there's a lot of different gimmicks to this level. Like, for one, see that pink switch on the ceiling? Well, I overlooked that when I first played the game because you're not exactly looking for a switch in a 2D Sonic game. So, it took a while for me to realize, oh, you're supposed to actually hit switches on the ceiling in order to progress with the level. I do like this gimmick, though. It's used a lot better in Act 2, but right now at least, I mean, I think it sends you up to a crusher ceiling. So, when I first approached those things, I always spin dashed on top of them. I didn't find it very intuitive that you can spin dash off them without just, you know, spin dashing off them. That spin dashing on them will actually give you the... It'll send you upwards, but it'll also send you forwards with momentum. So if you always spin dash on top of those things, then it's possible that you'll get sent into a bottomless pit. What you're actually supposed to do is stand on top of them and crouch for long enough until you hear the sound get all high pitched. I died a lot on that area. My first playthrough, I died a lot in that area because I was confused by the fact that the boost ring sent me to the right when I was previously going to the left. So I instinctively thought that the boost ring sent me in the wrong direction. And so I went to the left and got myself killed. Like, I think I tried to resist getting sent in that direction. Because naturally, it was weird that a boost ring was sending me in the opposite direction to the one that I was previously moving. But yeah, you gotta hit these switches, and they'll create rails for you to use, and they'll also create green platform things that move around, and you gotta stand on top of them without moving. Because that's the only way that you'll be able to progress through a level. And it just feels like those green platforms sort of just bring the fast pace of the level to a halt, because all you're doing is standing still. What you just saw there was that Sonic still has the Sonic Boom from Advance 2 and 3. Like, if you keep on running with Sonic without boosting, then you'll go into a proto boost mode. Not really sure what the point of it is now that you have the boost though. But at least it's there. Like, it's another thing to make it so that you're not too slow when you're not boosting. Just good. Why is there a sign saying Blaze in the background? Is this supposed to be in Sonic's dimension? The people in Sonic's dimension don't even know Blaze exists. Like, if this is supposed to be a result of their dimensions merging, then that's a pretty random result. But yeah, what you gotta do with the hangers, with the swinger things, is you gotta move the control pad to left and right, alternately. And that's really weird because it sort of functions like a vine. And it just feels overly complicated that you have to control them with the control pad to get them to swing left and right far enough. Because in Angel Island Zone, when you hung off a vine, they just swung automatically, and all you had to do was jump off them. But it's pure trial and error trying to figure out exactly when you should jump off the vines of this level, and when you shouldn't, because it'll send you to a bottomless pit. Sometimes you have to... That thing can be pretty glitchy, because there's a lot of instances where that wheel thing can actually kill you, even though you're boosting. And that happened to me once as Blaze. And it actually happened to me twice as Blaze. And I've heard horror stories of people not able to beat the game because that flame wheel kept on insta-killing them, even though they're doing everything right. But yeah, there's a lot of gimmicks to this level. Like, you've got the overly complicated vines, you gotta boost into these things because that's the only way they'll send you far enough. And I don't know why you're able to jump off them while they're spinning you around, because usually jumping off them is a bad idea. And the fact that you're able to jump off them makes you think that you're expected to do that. Oh great. Why the platforms me straight into an enemy? But yeah, just keep crouching on those things until you hear the sound effect get high pitched. Like when it says highest pitch, that means you're supposed to stop crouching because it'll send you the highest. But it's like, it's not very intuitive at all that you're expected to crouch on springs and that doing that long enough will send you forwards. I mean, I guess there's a down arrow on them, which is better than the crouch blocks of Twinkled Snow. But now we're in yet another special stage. The special stages aren't really that different from each other. They get progressively harder, but generally these special stages have all of the same problems that I complained about with the previous one. The reason I ran to that bomb there was because the floor, it was rising up. And so I couldn't actually see that bomb coming up, like this section. I hate it when it does that, because that means that I can't see what's ahead of me. I don't know why the floor does it like that, where suddenly you don't have any draw distance at all, you can't see what's coming ahead. In more sections, we're expected to swipe the stylus constantly in order to... You have to do it at exactly the right time, or else you won't be able to get the rings. If that enemy hits you, you'll lose rings. But they take multiple hits to kill, and you can't just jump into them. You have to tap them with a stylus multiple times in order to kill them. I don't think that's very good design when you're forced to defeat enemies in a special stage where you're focused on getting rings, and when you defeat them rather than collecting all the rings, you get punished because you're not getting... Yeah, I use save states to beat the special stage. That's how hard it is. I do find it kind of amusing that they say bad if you fail a special stage though. Like, it's almost as if the special stage is insulting itself. Like, that really says more about the special stage than it does you. You probably noticed in earlier special stages that I was air dashing rather than homing attacking sometimes. Like, I would air dash to the left or right and Sonic wouldn't be in ball form. And that's pretty awkward. I don't know why they let you do that. Oh my god, 8 of these. I was lucky that I managed to get all of them. One of the problems I have with the sections where you're expected to do a trick is that sometimes your hand will be covering up one of the numbers. Because naturally your hand is always above the screen because it's a touch screen. You have to have your hand constantly interacting with it. So yeah, I did a lot of editing for this. I showed off all of my failures just to accurately show off how difficult it is. That's really weird, like we get the 4th Chaos Emerald and it's the green one. Like, usually the green one's the one we get first. One of the annoying things about the special stage system in this game is that you can't get multiple emeralds in one zone. This is despite the fact that there's multiple different ways to enter special stages, in one zone. It makes you think that it's referencing the whole Sonic 3 and Knuckles thing, where you could find hidden giant rings and you could use them in order to get multiple Chaos Emeralds per zone. But in this game, you can only get one emerald per zone. So the only point of being able to... Yeah, you gotta constantly jump to destroy those enemies that you're sent right upwards into, because otherwise they'll knock you off the green thing and you'll have to make them be created all over again. But anyways, I mean, it's good that there's multiple special stage things at all, because it makes it a lot more likely that you'll actually be able to get into a special stage, which is especially great when you can only get one emerald per zone, because it's easy to run into a special stage swing and you don't have enough boost, so it's wasted, especially because if you die near it, then it vanishes forever, which really sucks. And the special stage system is certainly a lot better than it was in the Advanced series. The gimmicks aren't as unintuitive as they could be, because there are controls prompts that show up after you run into them for the first time, but they stop showing up after a while. And I don't know, they didn't make it nearly obvious enough to me what direction I was supposed to be pressing at the time. I don't know, it's just not very intuitive, a lot of the gimmicks in this level, and I died quite a bit to it when I first played it. Like, I remember dying 4 times, being sent to the first checkpoint 4 times. This is actually one of the better boss fights in the game. I don't like how it covers itself with electricity, and so you have to patiently wait for it to be vulnerable again while doing nothing. But other than that, it's pretty good, sort of, for a rush boss fight. What you gotta do is you gotta jump into the spear thing when it's not covered by electricity. And that's the only way that you're able to get the helicopter to be low enough that you can jump into it normally. It's got a bunch of attacks, like it'll send electricity that you have to dodge. I hate that. I hate how you can't just spin dash into that enemy and make it so that you get sent. Like, you can only jump into it and get launched. Oh yeah, and it has an insta-kill move too. Like the first boss in the game, it has a pseudo insta-kill move. But this boss actually has a genuine insta-kill move, where it can crush you to death. When it comes down to the floor and it sends its blue shockwaves, it comes down to the floor so quickly and suddenly. And if you're not already in the air by the time that it sends those blue shockwaves around, you're guaranteed to get hit by them. See? I jumped, but I still got hit by them. You gotta constantly wait around for the electricity to stop blocking you from hitting the boss. I mean, I like how you can jump into that green enemy in order to make it so that you can get early hit on the helicopter. I mean, that's pretty cool. Helps speed up the boss fight. But the problem is that it only launches you directly upwards. It's not like you can get the green enemy to follow you. So, if the green enemy happens to be in one place, you have to specifically wait for the helicopter in order... You have to wait for the helicopter to be directly above you before you can jump into the green enemy. And even then, there's a good chance that the green enemy is not gonna exactly stay put. You know? It doesn't feel very reliable to me. Like, this is the best boss in the game, but that's not really saying much. You're still constantly waiting for your opportunity to attack. And there's still plenty of attacks that can easily hurt you. Tails' mouth is very clearly drawn on. Like, it looks like it's drawn on with black crayon, but he still looks pretty cute. It's like, it's kind of sad that he has a polygonal model like Sonic does, but his model actually looks better than Sonic's does. Like, Sonic's model doesn't really look that great when he's dancing for victory, but Tails' model actually looks better. I like the way that the characters look in the cutscenes here. It's pretty rare for Knuckles to actually ask for help. And he's holding his head, like... I guess he has a concussion here? Sonic isn't really showing that much concern. Flanderization. The point of this is that Knuckles is actually useful by making it so that they can progress. Like, see? But why can't Tails just fly Sonic over the boulders? Knuckles didn't even have to break the boulders at all.